How you guys doing? It's Sep here. And this episode, we're going to talk about something that is very sensitive. I'm not going to say script, but it kind of is. Let's just call it dynamic difficulties, or in some way, the game's algorithm regarding myClub PES 2019. It's worth talking about it because this year is completely different. I have my good friend and former Portuguese champion, Notty, here with us. And this guy usually every year. Now, there's are two type of players. Like most people hunt for game exploits, bugs, etc., and they use it. They don't say a word. With Noti, every year PES comes out. He hunts these bugs. He has these exploits, the flaws of the game. He live streams this, shows this to everybody. And sometimes he gets a lot of heat for being negative in a way. And most of the time, these negative stuff that he commented out at the beginning of the year, recently, most of us, we saw it. All these kind of problems did appear because people played more. And it turned out, most of them to be like that. For me, as a creator, like most of the time, I don't want to look for problems because I know I will find it and that will ruin my mentality. But without further ado, Noti, talk to me, man. How you doing?
Hello, I'm well. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about PES. I love to talk about PES with you. So yeah, let's go.
All right,
um,
so we're just gonna dive into it, man. There's no script, there's no
yeah,
filters. We're
exactly.
just gonna go hard and raw, straight into it. Let's just focus on one thing. This is not about my wish list or what do I want PES 2020 will be like or what can we do to
Okay.
approve it because it's already too late. I want to be reasonable. I don't want to wish for things that I know is not going to happen. The PES 2020 is already in production. There are certain things possible that will happen. We can only wish for it, but the main thing the purpose for this postcard I want to talk about is one thing and is the main thing that is myClub gameplay, not PES 2019 divisions, normal gameplay, not offline. There would be kind of mix between since we kind of mentioned the whole dynamic difficulty or the script, which is a very sensitive subject in gaming. And before we dive into it and ask questions to Noti, I want to point out one thing. This isn't about a typical gamer excuse. This isn't about that. This is about me. I'm not sure if I want to repeat myself. Most of you guys know, played 2,000
Mhm.
games on myClub. I need no excuses. And we heard Konami code, script live on an esport from professionals. These guys does not need excuses. Let's say if I
Yeah,
need it. In fact, let's scratch. Let's say maybe I need excuses, but these guys don't. And yeah, so
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to point out here. We're gonna talk about examples, things that will happen way too often. And yes, there are ways to overcome it. Yes, you're probably asking how does these top ranks can keep up with it. We're gonna talk about the combination of how to become one of these, like what these top ranks has that we don't, and what do they do. We're gonna dive into all that and explaining everything. So the main
exactly.
thing is gonna be about my club gameplay, really. And one thing I want to start with, Noti, you play like from PES 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. You always test the game early and then you point out
Yeah,
the flaws of the game and you always say, Sep, this is going to be a problem. And it always end up to be a problem and they will get abused in a way. Do you know what I mean? So what I
I
want you to
wish
talk
I was
about,
wrong.
sorry, go on.
No, I was saying I wish I was wrong all the time, but sadly,
That's the
it's
thing.
not
Like I
the case.
remember your hype man. Like it's gonna come in 2 3 weeks time. I don't have any official news. I'm just a streamer, but I'm thinking it's gonna be like end of this month. The hype will
Yeah,
start. And sadly for me, I'm like a little child, man. It doesn't mean like if somebody start being negative early, doesn't mean you're a hater. Doesn't mean you hate the game.
of course.
It's all about
I'm as
caring.
hyped as you. I cannot wait for PES 20 news and to see the game and try
And
the
we're
game.
always hyped, like especially me and
Yeah,
you and Whisper is like, all right, counting minutes, counting days. Is it gonna be like this? Is it gonna be like that? And then finally the demo drops. We like it, we
exactly.
point out problems. But what I want to talk about, like those things that you pointed out regarding gameplay, like just PES 2019 gameplay. I know you love
Yeah,
offline. You said that
yeah,
earlier at the beginning. Online
yes,
gameplay, especially my club, putting the whole dynamic difficulty script apart, like the whole, not even the algorithm, just online gameplay, the animation, the transition, the game engine. What was the problems that you backed away? Because let me point out one thing, guys. This is not a typical gamer excuse. Somebody's not being able to win as much and making excuses or not being able to win as much as the previous PES and just hating the game. This isn't about that. Notty quit PES 16 and 17. He played about 100 games with a win ratio of 90 something, and it's right there. You can check it out. So gameplay, Notty. What was the problem that completely put you off of PES 2019 this year, gameplay wise?
I mean, the first thing that I didn't like were the first touches when you received the ball. They had too much lag, so you could not even play a good flowing football, because every time you pass the ball to your defensive midfielder or to your defenders, they will take a really long time to receive the ball. But to be honest, that thing was fixed. I don't remember which data pack it was, but I think it was around December, and that problem was fixed. So that wasn't a problem anymore after that data pack. But yeah, the pass assist problem is still in the game, in my opinion. The fast, quick 1-2 passes.
It's like having aimbot, PESEP or
Yeah,
3.
exactly.
That's your thing, nobody. That's your quote.
Yeah,
I'm quoting you. PESEP or 3 is like having
exactly.
aimbot on Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, it's basically, yeah. You don't need to aim at all. So the computer aims for you. I think that's not right, and it's too damn strong. You cannot intercept the ball most of the times, so it's a bad problem. But to be honest, the biggest problem with PES19 is it's the online gameplay having so much momentum, so much script, like you say, dynamic difficulties. I think that's the biggest problem because you never know when you are playing well. You never know if certain formation is good, and you never know if you are playing bad, because you never know if it was the game on your favor or if it was against you.
I agree
And
with you on that subject 100%. Let me just add my flavor into it quickly.
sure, sure,
One of the things that I've always say, you should win and lose the game based on your abilities. And
exactly.
what I don't like, yeah, sure, I played 2,000 game stream, like 160 stream minimum 4 hours because I love the game. It's hard to step away from a game that you like to play daily. I will miss it. But in the meantime, like a lot of things happen so repetitively. And like I
Yeah,
get it, man. It's a video game. Mistakes happen. Incredible mistakes happen, cost real life team millions in real life. So mistakes do happen. You could be playing against somebody who has a weaker team, lower rated, but he could be better than you, or he could play that game better than you, mentality, etc. But
exactly.
not having like you play against AI on regular and you play against AI on superstar. You notice the difference in defense and attack, their positioning, their elusiveness,
Exactly.
the reaction to their balls and pass, etc. I mean, my kind of theory is this whole thing. You play certain games, your AI is on regular, opponent's AI on superstar. Now, what that does, it makes the opposition chances easier to score. It
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
your chances harder. I'm not saying you can never win these games, but it's unnecessarily harder. I'm not saying just
exactly.
because you have a superstar team, you should be flawless, you should be invincible, you
Yeah,
should
of
not
course.
lose. That's not right to say that. And as I
It
said, you could
just
have a
goes to
weaker
a
team
point
and still
where
lose.
you feel like you lose control sometimes. It,
Exactly. Like I've watched people
yeah.
like great players, man, great streamers, great players. I've watched them same system, same formation. One week they're destroying everybody. And this isn't about you could say, hey, maybe that week they go matched against some scrubs and next week they matched against better players.
Yeah,
No. I see them consistently playing against good players, good decent players. One week their team is all over the place. And the majority of the complaints are, including myself, it's me fighting against my own team. Like I have to beat my own
exactly.
fucking team's AI and then beat the opposition's team and then the guy himself trying to get
Exactly.
into his head. So all
Sometimes
that
you
is
try
just a
to
recipe for unnecessarily games being harder to dominate.
exactly, exactly. Those games where you are trying to make dribbles and tricks, skills, right sticks, skills, and you cannot pull a single one because the opponent defender, which the player isn't even controlling,
Yeah.
is gonna rob the ball automatically. I think that's very bad.
The auto
When it
CPU interception, yeah.
exactly, but that happens only when the momentum is against you. You
I
know
agree. Most of the time when I'm leading, I'm skinning fucking defenders left and right with simple basic skills. I
exactly.
gotta say, in a 3-star team, because the gameplay is slower, I'm able to shield the ball better. I'm able to. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to do these kind of things better when you're playing using a better team in a way. And I get
Exactly.
it. Like,
Exactly.
if we can dive in straight into the subject of this, most game developers implementing this whole balance thing. Like, what would you say
Exactly.
regarding that? Because my translation simply is they add this balance things to kind of reward or boost casual or newbies
Exactly.
because
It's
they want to
called
sell their product. They want to keep everybody in. They don't want them because if a
exactly
casual gets spanked every time, they will just uninstall the game. So, what's your take on that?
that's called nowadays RNG. I don't know if
Okay,
you heard the
what's
term.
that stand for?
R uh, random. I can't remember the other, but I'm sure it's called RNG, and
Okay.
it refers to random events occurring. So to make an artificial playing field, and that happens on a lot of genres, not only PES. It happens on FIFA. It happens on Fortnite. It
I've
happens on
heard one of
Apex
the biggest
Legends.
streamers saying, I'm not gonna say names. He was literally screaming. I'm talking about a big streamer, like who makes a living, who make millions a year. He simply
Exactly.
said Fortnite is just rewarding children by adding like gun boost, etc., so they can dominate better players in a way. So it's happening in every
Exactly.
game.
RNG stands for Random Number Generator. This is
Okay,
what it stands for. And
okay.
it's something that,
Artificial playground, basically.
yeah, exactly. But the problem is that Konami went too far with it. So I play a lot of games, and I can tell you that PES right now probably is the game with the biggest RNG ever. You will see. It's
Especially
not
my club,
balanced,
right?
especially my club. Yes,
Yeah.
it's too heavy, and I can understand why RNG is on games right now because you need it if you want to keep everyone from the casual player to the pro player playing your game and investing money on your game. You need a bit of RNG. I
I
I
mean,
can
in
accept
a
that.
in a business
But
prospect, I can see that. I mean, you spoke about Midnight Kid about it as well. Like, I don't want to make the game
exactly,
hardcore. You could be a full-time gamer, and somebody who's a casual can dominate you occasionally. That's fine. Not everybody
exactly,
would, have a great stable mentality every game, every day to be consistent. Occasionally, you can lose. We see it in real life as well. And it's the same
exactly.
thing with comebacks. I mean, Euros, World Cup, Champions League, we see comebacks, but on my club is just too much. It's instant. You
It's
remember
too
my
heavy.
club 15 and 16, right? When you're leading
Yeah,
2-0, you concede the goal, you're more careful, you know what's happening. You can dominate
yeah.
it, you can keep the result.
Game
But
over. Game over.
what
On
makes
PES
it
15 and 16, if you were dominating your opponent and you scored the 2-0,
yeah,
you had that game in the bag if you played well. Well, you could still come back,
yeah,
but it was hard work from the player and not from
yeah.
the AI. And
I
that's
mean, if
different.
I pay attention, man. I read. I generate. When I complain, it's always about the AI. I don't care what the opponent's doing. I always respect people who makes a good passing combination. Tearing my defense apart. That's different. But I'm leading 2-0. I concede one goal instantly, straight, and I'm not talking about kickoff. Kickoff is a very obvious thing. I mean,
Yeah,
two times world champion, saying 60% of the goals I concede is from kickoff. What the fuck chance do I stand? Or most of us in a way. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is many chances is just so obvious. A player not responding
too
on time,
obvious.
making the chance easier for the opponent. Cursor not
Exactly.
switching on time
First
when the
switching,
game is not
exactly.
laggy. Yeah, defense defense going sideways outward for that through ball to go through. So
Exactly.
like that, it makes chances easier for the opponent. And for you,
Even,
your team is
even
asleep. They're not elusive. They're
yeah,
like better than the opposition team.
the,
It's
the
just too.
AI even ignores the manager instructions sometimes. I've
Oh,
seen
oh, oh.
Fernando Santos users defending like it was, I don't know, Italy Catenaccio. And Fernando
Yeah,
Santos is so aggressive. But
yeah.
when the script is on their favor, you have no chance to enter the box and
Oh
something is
no!
happening.
Did you say script,
How is
Notty?
that possible? Yeah.
How
Saying,
how dare
for
you to
example,
have an opinion?
Santos be so defensive? Why they are covering all my players? And it's not the other player's skill, it's just
Yeah,
the AI, you know? And you
because
notice that when
yeah,
I'm trying to find a passing line and I go back and I switch flank and I do a standing fake shot to wait for my opponent, but the AI is covering everyone like
just
he's marking
mirroring the opposition team. Like your
everywhere.
players are standing beside the defenders. I mean,
Exactly,
it's just
exactly.
too hard, and you lose the ball. The opponent makes one pass to midfield. First time through ball, boom, you countered.
Exactly. And that's when you know something is happening. And I had an idea.
Yeah.
For example, if Konami wants RNG so bad in their game, why don't they do something like this? Imagine a bad player, 300 or 400 rating player that has a lot of losses, increase their chances of pulling Messi or Ronaldo on an agent, for example. That's a cool RNG. So this
Yeah.
guy is bad.
More
He needs a
rewarding and
bad
more
player,
content.
so he has more chances of pulling this player. And a guy that is 2K rating has less chances of pulling the best players, for example. But as long as on the pitch it is fair, I'm okay with that, you know.
And we
So
had a lot of
every
people like this year is so obvious. A lot of people who never wanted to believe in it this year, they came forward and they admitted it.
yeah,
And in the meantime, like I have people like whispering me. I'm not gonna say names, but people who are already got champion match on my club, people who are playing much better than me, and they simply said, "Seb, when a script kicks off, they actually say the word script. Don't do short passes in your own half, loft passes. 1 week I'm
exactly,
using Simeone, I'm fucking going consistent. Next week I'm using the same manager, same system, getting matched against similar strength players. I can't do jack shit. These are the times when you gotta change something. Yeah, like we don't even know what happens every Thursday. What do they do? And I
yeah,
understand, like, if they're gonna
that's
force us to change
unexpected.
our system, I'm fine with that. But the most thing that upsets me very much, PES is always being paying attention to details, not
Mm,
overall rating, individual player abilities, playing style card, tactical links, advanced instructions, attack instructions, defense instructions. But this year, when the game is algorithm is against you, or in other word, dynamic difficulties kicks off, all that goes out of the window. Like things doesn't make sense. You're playing against
yeah,
Simeone.
exactly,
You're playing against Simeone that is AOD. I'm paying attention. He's not using Gegenpress. Let's say he's using an offensive squad. Let's say he's man marking my fullback with his LMF and RMF. Let's say he's putting
exactly.
counter target on his LMF and RMF. Still, it's nothing as effective as your manager's default tactics. So when I see Simeone is pressing me like fucking Klopp, and I'm actually
Exactly.
using Santos, it doesn't matter. In these
Yeah.
situations, doesn't matter what player you're using, playing style,
Doesn't matter.
individual abilities, tactic,
I,
advanced
I can
instructions.
even tell you something. I remember
Yeah,
having Martin Odegaard, which
yeah,
is a young player, and he has the Marcel turn ability, and I love that ability.
yeah.
And
Can do
I
McGee's
noticed
flick.
that exactly when the script is against you, or the momentum, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
even the skills are harder to pull. You know,
it
sometimes I
is.
was doing the Marcel turn, and the player was doing a different skill without reason, or
Especially on 5 star, to be honest.
so, and I noticed, whoa, there's something here happening. The players are not doing what I'm telling them to do. It's like the game is artificially making it harder so I can lose the ball faster, you know? I
That
notice
is,
such stuff like this. When
yeah.
my
I mean,
players are not pulling good fake shots or good Marcel turns, I know something is about to happen, you know?
don't get me wrong. I like certain features, like players who has cut behind and turn, they can execute fake shots more effectively. Players who
Yeah,
has
of
double
course.
touch, they can.
Of course.
I like all that. And I know it's time is gone and it's passed by, but week one before data pack one or even after data pack one, I love the gameplay. You can pull. I'm not saying you can abuse it like doing fucking 10 skills in 10 seconds. I'm not saying that, but if you time your simple basic skills, whether it's a double touch, whether it's a sombrero, whether it's a L feint. When you time these, you can actually dribble past defenders. But
Exactly.
after Data Pack 3, the game has been a nightmare. And I completely
Yeah,
regret like releasing my 3 star team. I'm not saying it's easier. I'm not dissing anybody who plays 3 star. All I'm saying is when I play 3 star, gameplay is slower. That will allows me to actually be able to shield the ball, to see what's happening. It's the gameplay isn't not being that fast. I can
to be
actually
honest,
dribble better in a
and
way.
I'm always honest, as you know, I think 3 star is easier than 5 star for a lot of factors, not only what you said, but also the fact that you get matched with way worse players.
Okay.
And those players are so much worse than the ones you find on level 5 that not even the script can help them, you know, because there's a
Yeah.
limit, of course. You are not going to lose every match against a super weaker player. On 5 star, all the tryhards, as we call them, all the hardcore players are
I mean,
there.
top 100, top
So
16, they all play 5 star anyway, superstar.
yeah, of course, it's way harder. There's no comparison. Also, you have to deal with really, really strong strikers. with 96 rated, 97, even 100 now. I think there's a Mbappe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You could say, oh, 5-star is easy, just shoot with
You
Ronaldo,
don't have
etc. But
defenders
you're
for that.
defending against these guys too, right?
Yeah, you are using 91 rated defenders at the best 195, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. That's one of the factors, and you get matched against much better players. So to me,
Another
there's no
thing,
comparison.
another
I don't
thing.
judge anyone playing 3-star. I
Yeah.
just judge if people brag about it. Okay, if you want to have fun with 3-star, the game is yours. You can have fun the way you want.
Yeah.
But 5-star is very, very hard, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like some people who play 3-star, they just, most of the time they just trash talk the 5-star. It's whether
Yeah.
it's boring. Boring, yeah, I agree. The reason why I find 5-star boring is because I'm simplifying my game so much, almost becoming a robot. Just pass, shoot,
Yeah.
turn, 1-2, give and go.
And
Because
I
I can
agree.
build
I
up
agree.
deep. I can pull a feint in a 5-star team. And
Exactly.
another thing in 3-star, I never struggle against casuals in a 3-star. Like if somebody wants to spam, like let's say any gold striker, like let's say Zaha or Vardy, etc. The
Exactly.
spammy way in 3-star, I wasn't struggling against it. But in a 5-star team, anybody who has Mbappe or Ronaldo does a long ball, 2 passes, it's so
Yeah, it's too
much like
hard.
they
It's too hard.
really do dominate. So,
Yeah.
it's good that we have different opinion on that subject from 3-star to 5-star, because if that one makes it interesting. Otherwise, it would be boring if you all agree on one thing.
Yeah,
And
of course.
in my opinion, the one thing for 3-star, like just the gameplay being slower, I can pull a feint, I can shield the ball.
Yeah.
In terms of script, there's a lot of things still happens regarding comebacks, not being able to
Oh, it
switch your
does. It
cursor.
does, of course.
So
But
yeah, in that term, you still suffer even if you play 3-star.
yeah, of course, of course. But the pace is slower, and that helps you a lot.
You can recover better and you can build up a little bit slower. Your
And you
awareness is better.
face more players that cannot take advantage from the momentum when it's on their side, you know? While on
Yeah.
5-star, you may find more players that they are decent and they can take advantage of the momentum when it kicks in, and they're
Yeah.
gonna score goals on you. So, but yeah.
We see it even on PES League, most of the stuff. The reason why I watch PES League, I admire their mostly is their defending, their patient with defending. Attacking wise, with all due
Yeah.
respect to everybody, because
But
I
you
know
know,
most of them.
of course, I
Yeah.
don't wanna, I don't like to attack anyone. I'm just saying, which is a fact. Most of them use, I cannot call it exploits, but they
Yeah.
use some stuff on their formations to make the defending easier, you know?
Yeah.
So not all of them are that great at defending. They are good at
We
defending,
see
and
a
they
lot
use
of goals. We see a lot of goals.
formations specifically made to make the defending easier, you know? So it's
Well,
different. It's
it
different.
makes sense. It makes sense because if you were playing in a professional level,
Yeah.
number one, you got your reputation to keep, and
Exactly.
nowadays with esport, etc., you got your sponsors, etc. So I understand. Like if I was a professional player, which I'm
Of
pretty sure
course.
most of them that's what they do. They study the AI. They hit the training menu, they look for angles where the goalkeeper doesn't react to a ball.
Exactly.
They test out everything. So whatever,
Listen, when
yeah,
I played PES League on PES 15 and 16, I had
yeah,
one formation that I used on those competitions. It was offline back in that time.
yeah.
And I used a specific playing style and a formation that I only used on competitions because I was playing for money. Period. You need to use the what they call the meta, you know? But
Exactly.
when you
And
play at
so
home and you play and you stream and you play without being competitive, I don't need to use that all the time, you know. I don't need to be spammy. I don't need to use the best formations. I can play shields. I can try stuff. So it's different. But I know what you mean. When you play competitive, you need to use that because you want to win. Period. You are not there to impress anyone. You are there to win.
yeah, I mean that's the whole point. Like we're not having a
Yeah.
go at pros. It's the
Yeah,
fact that
of course
if
not.
like the reason why I gave myself an example, if I was a professional player, you got to have your reputation, your sponsors, etc. You got to keep your name
Exactly.
up. So you want to win, with all the rules that is allow you to win and things that you can do. But some people doesn't understand. And while we're on a topic, remember we talk about something in whispers. We talk about, you know, because that question will rise. Hey guys, you guys pointing out all these things about dynamic difficulties, etc. how do these people on myClub, 3K rated, 2K rated, they can keep the consistency? And in the meantime, it wasn't random that most people who who done well on myClub, we don't see them on PES League, or they didn't do well on PES League. Many other friends of professional players who are my friends, like Eterito, Alex Alguacil, I talked to this guy in private as well. Like, as soon as the serious competition PES League started, they stopped playing myClub because Alex, Eterito, most of these guys were streaming myClub. Yeah, because they want to train. So my point is, never judge anybody's ability based on myClub. And my question is, Notty, when people ask you, all these script, blah, 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 etc. aside, how come these people on the top rank, 2K rated, 3K rated, etc., they are so consistent? I mean, obviously, number one, they're great players, and I'll leave the rest to you.
That's
what
what
makes,
I was about to say.
what are the other combinations that it's a recipe for surviving and being consistent? Number one, of course, being a great player. That's the
Being a
question.
great player is the first one, no doubts of it. So no one can be bad player and be on the top 20. So you need to be good.
Yeah.
But then they use other stuff like the formations, for example. And I don't want people to take me wrong or think I'm hating on someone. I'm just saying I will not respect you as a player, and I repeat, as a player, not as a person. So if you use 4 CBs, 4 center backs, I cannot respect that. I'm sorry. I respect you as a person, not as a PES player, because
we're gamer talking here. We're not getting personal.
exactly.
People do
If
get
you
personal.
use 4 center backs, you are basically telling the game, I can counter you, but you cannot counter me, because you're gonna always
taking
have
advantage of the system.
Exactly. You're going to have always 4 players at the back, and you have advanced instructions for that. You have the
Defense on your
defense,
fullback,
defense. Exactly. So if you want that to happen, and that happens in real life, because I remember on the halftime on one of the Real Madrid Champions League, I remember watching the commentary where Zidane told Marcelo, "Don't go forward now, stay back."
Yeah.
But you have an option for that in the game. So you need to waste 2 slots, two defense slots on, imagine, Marcelo and Carvajal, for example. If you are using 4 CBs, you just have 2 free slots. You don't need to use defensive anymore. You see?
Just use counter target.
Exactly. You can use other stuff. You can use wing rotation, wherever.
Yeah.
So that's not fair because you are using 4 advanced instructions now. Also, I don't know, as you know, I'm completely addicted to football. I'm always watching football. I love football. I never seen a team playing with 4 center backs. I mean,
Not even if you go back to 60s, because in the 60s, 50s, 40s,
exactly.
the formation was actually something like 2-5-3 or 2-3-5.
Yeah. And there was a time some teams used 3 center backs and the sweeper behind, but the sweeper was supposed to go forward as well. Like
Yeah, I
Lothar
think the
Matthäus,
super
for
train
example.
kind of dies out. Nowadays, goalkeepers are sweepers.
You don't use center backs on the right or on the left. That doesn't exist, So it shouldn't be in the game in the first place, but it is on the game. So people want to use it because that exploits the tactical behavior of the game.
Because the game is not being coded for that. I mean, a lot of things that you use or your opponent uses, it messes up the AI big time. That's why sometimes you see players like acting like a circus. Never mind the unstable online delay and lag, because it's a football game. A split-second decision. If you can't select your cursor on time, you're fucked. You can see the goal. That could change the game.
Exactly. And I didn't play a lot of this game, but when I streamed and when I played, I never used 4 CBs, and I would never use that, unless I was on a competition for money. I would never use that because it makes no sense to me. So that's one of the things that most top-rated players do. Not all of them use 4 CBs. Some use 3 CBs and one
I use
fullback.
3 CB occasionally. Sometimes I rage.
Yeah.
I go 4 CB. I'm not gonna lie, which is on a live
Yeah,
stream. But
of
I
course.
can't do it. I can't do it because I like that beautiful fullback overlap. I like that. I could be using my fullback as a decoy. The fullback overlaps, pulls a fucking defender, created space for my midfield. Like all these amazing features in the game is fading away because of. And don't get me wrong, Notty. Like, yeah, people use 4 CB. I don't like it either. But you have to understand the fact that some people are thinking, fuck, this guy is using 4 CB. I can't fucking break him. I'm going to do that too. So it's online gaming. People always use what's effective.
That's very true. Yeah, that's why I don't want people to judge me because of what I said, because I fully
Fair
understand
opinion.
it.
That's it.
I'm just saying I would never do it, but that's me. I cannot blame others if that works. Okay, whatever. But if I play against you, I will not be impressed with your defense, you know? That's
Yeah.
more what I mean. So if I play against you and I cannot score against you, but you were using 4CB, I know why I could not break you. So I'm not impressed.
It's about countering
That's
without getting countered. We
yeah,
saw it on PES League. Most of them were using 4CB.
that's one of the things. So you don't get countered, so you don't concede a lot of goals that you would concede if you played normal.
Yeah.
But they use other stuff, like, of course, the managers. That's a crucial point, in my opinion, in my club. In my opinion, the managers control the script a lot, and not
Especially the
every
managers who are, licensed in the game, Club ID.
exactly.
We spoke about Club ID many years. A lot of people didn't believe in it. It's the same thing that we find out
They
is out
still,
off the
a lot
book,
of people still don't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's too obvious. And I can mention Jurgen Klopp because I think he is maybe the strongest one. And
Yeah.
you
In
look at
terms
his
of,
instructions, they are nothing special, you know.
yeah.
Even I'm not a fan of the formation. Even I mean the most usual formation because he has many. I think he has a 4-2-3-1 as well. But the standard 4-3-3, it's nothing impressive. But the auto pressure he has, you know, if you are using a lower rated manager against him,
Yeah.
I know you're going to suffer immediately. I know it's going to be hard because it's Klopp and
I
the
mean,
AI
this
is going
perfect example will be go use Valverde and then go use Klopp. Their
to
tactics,
exactly,
their sliders, kind of similar. They both have defensive line 8 or 7 equally. But use Klopp without gegenpress. He's built in gegenpress.
exactly,
It presses
exactly,
like fucking
exactly.
crazy.
But
Valverde
Valverde
doesn't do
is
that
also strong,
consistently.
but not on the pressure. To be honest, Valverde defending is very bad.
Yeah.
Exactly like Barcelona Team ID defending, which is bad. And I've
I don't
said
agree
this.
with Valverde's tactic though,
You
because
know,
if you read Valverde's profile, he's all about balance and minimizing
exactly.
risks. So
True,
I don't
true.
know why they made him frontline pressure and defensive line 8.
But if you
You
notice,
go
if you use
PK at the back,
Valverde,
you know?
I think with Valverde it's easier to make 1-2 passes and
Yeah.
combinations, play that style of football because it's the ID. It's the
One thing I can
Barcelona.
say about Valverde, and I mentioned it on the stream, only with Valverde, you notice without using false fullback, you will notice even if they are wing forward or assess on the flank, they come central so beautiful that you almost feel like you're playing a
Exactly.
diamond. Go play another 4-3-3 with the same instruction. Go test it. That doesn't happen. The same thing with Klopp. The auto pressing doesn't happen. The auto counter
Exactly.
pressing, suffocating you in the third half of the pitch, that's not going to happen because that's what Klopp is all about in real life, suffocating you
Exactly.
in your own half and countering you.
And you know, Liverpool and Barcelona are the most important licensed clubs on Konami. They have partnerships, you
Yeah.
know. So
Santos
that
is
may be
next
the
level
reason.
this year. I think what
Yeah,
makes
for that
Santos
percent,
interesting
it's
is the
very
formation.
strong.
Is the formation as well, Notty? Because think about it. You,
Exactly.
you can do 1-2s between AMF two strikers, and then suddenly LMF gives you a wide option. RMFs give you another overlap.
Exactly. Especially when you use really
For
attacking
CB,
players as RMF and LMF. And I noticed that a
yeah,
lot of
all
guys
players.
play basically 4-1-5 formation with Santos because they use Messi MF, Neymar on the left, you know, Hazard on the right or Salah on the right, and then Ronaldo and Griezmann, imagine. And
We're going
that
tactical now, Notty. What happened to script?
yeah, true. But that has an effect as well because
Yeah,
those very strong managers make it easier for you. And I had a low-rated manager, which was 4-2-3-1, as I love that formation. And I started noticing when I was playing, damn, it's like the opponent is eating my players alive. They are everywhere. It's too hard. It's like there's an external factor. And then I start using I-rated manager. I started using Klopp and Valverde, and it was completely different. You know, I didn't feel that thing as heavy as it was before.
yeah.
You know, the pressure and that stuff. So that's when I gave up. Okay, I'm not going to use low-rated manager. I mean, I
We
love the
used to do that a
instructions.
lot, man. We used to get these
Yeah,
low-rated managers, use them
exactly,
assistant coach. Like that's one
exactly.
thing I miss about playing 3-star, 2-star because I get to use like different managers and etc. Not just stick to these because management skill boost is it's a joke really. We should have
Exactly.
another option apart from open impact to get management skill boost. Especially
True,
this year on purpose, they dropped a lot of managers rating, so we're kind of forced needing
true,
management skill
true.
boost. With
And that's
featured
when I
players
found,
having high cost as well doesn't help.
yeah, it doesn't help at all. Doesn't help at all. For someone like me that, I mean, I don't have as much time as I had to play. Uh, by not investing money in the game, and not being able to farm a lot of GP, it's hard. It's hard because I cannot get featured players. I need to wait to play 200 games to buy certain managers, so it's not easy. But I was saying, when I switched managers was when I noticed that the next thing that also affects script, and this is a bit choking, but it's true. And I didn't bother to put my team spirit at 99, and I start playing at 60 right off the bat, you know. And when I go online with 60 team spirit, and I start noticing, why is my team playing so well? You
That's
know?
because noobs who just started the game, they don't care how the
Exactly.
game works. They have low team spirit and they will get rewarded. I mean, with the
Exactly.
Pesology series, I played with Team Spirit 45, 8 games. I won two, I lost one, and I drew the rest. And I'm talking
Exactly.
about guys 99 Team Spirit superstars. I recently went on a 5 win streak live, Team Spirit 75. I go my fifth win
So,
streak just today with Team Spirit 74.
okay.
I
So
mean,
now
I
I
will
can
go
tell
live
you.
later on and you will see. I'll show you.
Now I can keep
The manager is
explaining.
actually Uzma Kabel's tactic is frontline pressure, aggressive, counter, long ball, maintain formation, short pass. But I don't have the AMF. It's like 4-3-3.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
no exposing tactic. It was on a live stream just because I remember what it was last year. I made a video tactical. You know, I mentioned like PES League pros and their tactics, and one of them
Yeah.
came forward and say, "Hey, Seba, you exposing my tactic." I was like, "I'm not. It was live. It showed it. That's why we saw. That's how we saw it. It's not like you told me your tactic and I'm exposing you.
I, don't-
That's a
I, don't- I don't.
difference."
I don't understand why people don't want the tactic to get exposed because listen, like playing guitar, you can show the chords to someone how to play it, but
Yeah,
it doesn't mean they're gonna play it like you, you know?
exactly.
So
I can use Uzma Kabel's
I mean,
tactic all I fucking like. I'll be nowhere near as good as him. You know what I mean?
yeah, the same thing with me, you know. Almost no one is gonna play
It's
like
a
him. So
placebo and the motivation. You're thinking, all right, this
yeah,
is world champions
exactly.
tactic, man. I'm gonna be fucking invincible.
It's like people trying to copy the setups from the big streamers, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, which
yeah.
mouse it is, which
And I
monitor?
always tell them, remember, that's one thing, and I quote you, managers are fucking personal. Just because someone
Yeah,
else, like
true.
people destroy me with Klopp, I can't play with Klopp. I don't like this
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
aggression. I like balanced football. I like to involve my team when I attack. And that's a disadvantage I'm having because I don't sweat these superstars and people does it against me. And that's why I was
Exactly.
better off with 3 star. The way I'm playing, 3 star suits me more. But back to the question, Noti, like all these
Yeah,
kind of stuff, dynamic difficulties we mentioned.
I was telling you that
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of high-rated players, and once again, I'm not saying names.
Yep.
Um, I've seen a lot of them
Seen them live
dropping
as well.
their team spirit on purpose.
Yep, I talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I've even seen a top five player. So I go that far. A top five player switching is right midfielder with center midfielder to make them completely out of position to drop the team spirit. You know?
I actually showed that on a live stream yesterday.
And
I went through the top
oh,
ranks.
okay, okay.
From top 16, I pulled out 11 of them having their assistant coach team spirit low on purpose. And
Exactly.
I don't
So
think that that's random because if you're top rank, you care about your rating that much, you would fucking care about where your assistant coach is
well,
because you use them for a
exactly.
reason.
Maybe they will tell you it's random, but I don't believe it
Yeah.
because I know that the low team spirit helps you a lot in this game. And
But
I
it's
noticed
obvious. I mean, why do you think low team
too
spirit
obvious.
kind of gives you advantage? Obviously, people who just started the game, they have low team
Exactly.
spirit. Some people with the PES light, they just fucking go online. They don't want to, they want
Exactly.
instant
They
gratification.
don't understand how the game works yet. They just
Yeah.
go on and
Just don't
Konami
care.
doesn't.
Just want to have a go. And think
Yeah,
about it. Like, I'm completely new to PES, right? I'm like, the other football game sucks. I'm going to give PES a try. But I can't be bothered to know how the fucking things work. I have team spirit. I don't fucking care.
exactly.
I'm going to play one game. If I don't like it, I'm going to release it. But then hold the phone. I'm playing 3 star team, getting matched against superstar. My team spirit is 60, and I'm fucking destroying this guy. Yes, I'm gonna play more. Probably buy coins. Probably buy the full game. That's the whole
Exactly.
point of it.
Exactly the point. Because if they get destroyed, they're gonna uninstall the game immediately. You know, I'm back to
It's
other
not
games
every
right
game though. Let's put that
now. Yeah,
there.
of
Like
course, of
anything we
course.
mentioned doesn't happen every game. It's not the
So
case. But the
the
question a lot of
worst
people like ask you as soon as you talk about script, hey Seb, how these top ranks stay consistent then? You know? What is the
yeah,
recipe that makes these guys
exactly.
consistent?
Also, we need to mention the smart. I call it smart time wasting because not
Yeah.
everyone uses the usual pass
Switching
the ball
basically.
around the back for because that's
Yeah.
too obvious. But I've seen a lot of them smart time wasting it. You can do that if you
I
have.
have seen top 10, like several of them, like even streaming on YouTube. Like they're leading 2-0. They concede one goal. They know shit's gonna go sideways. They're not gonna be a dick, like, passing from goalkeeper to center
Yeah,
back, but
exactly,
switch it,
exactly,
overload one side, switch to the other, keep the ball,
exactly,
frustrate your opponent, give your opponent a signal. I'm not gonna give you the ball. Make your opponent come at you, panic,
exactly,
rush,
and give the
and then
ball to
get that
Neymar
goal.
and keep dribbling back and forth. Doing
Yeah.
those rotations with Neymar or with Messi. A patient football, smart time wasting, so the time passes by and you don't give the ball away because there are high chances you're gonna concede a goal if you do that. That's
The
another
worst
thing
part
they
is,
do.
like, most of the time, personally, I'm aware of all that, right? Okay, I'm leading 3-0. I can see the goal. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna be very careful with my passing. We all know a good defending and passing and dribble can beat anybody and anything. But most of the time, you're passing to a player, you're paying attention. He's not marked. I'm gonna pass it to him. He freezes. Opponent comes in without pressing double tap, without slide tackling.
True.
My player's asleep. He teleports through me. He gets the ball. He counters me. He fucking scores. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
So
exactly,
that's
and
what
the
you
ball
think, and that's what
perception as
people
well. You
ask.
cannot. Sometimes you do a one-touch pass, and if the thing is against you, your
Yeah.
player is gonna get another touch, for no reason, and you have the power gauge showing on the screen because
And
he
no
clearly
responding.
the first time pass, but it doesn't do the pass. He's gonna receive the ball first, give an extra touch,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna pass the ball, but most likely you're gonna lose the ball or something like that.
That's why I have
Uh,
this feature on stream, RAR, Rigged AI Replay. I
exactly.
mean, one of the examples was yesterday. A guy did the cutback. Now, Messi failed, and he had another player behind him. And I had a player on Messi, another player on the other player. So Messi failed. I know he's failed. I'm instantly pressing L1. He doesn't switch to the other player. I flick the right stick. He doesn't switch to him. The other player
Exactly.
gets a ball while I'm still on him. I can make to the ball faster, like I'm closer to the ball. It was Robertson, his pace is like 90 something, and the other player was fast enough, but I was closer to him. Robertson is not that slow. It never switched the cursor to Robertson so I can make it to the ball. It only
Yeah,
switched to my defender when he already kicked the ball and scored the rebound. That's what
it's
I
not
call it,
that you
rigged
call.
AI.
Yeah, it's good that you talk about cursor switching because that's another thing you
Yeah,
you should do when the thing is against you. Is that you, the more you switch the cursor, the worse it is sometimes.
yeah.
So what a lot of those top ranked players do, if you notice their games, they switch the cursor with the right stick to the last defender always, and they basically let the CPU control the thing, and they
You
keep
see that on
covering.
PES League a lot. I mean, on PES League,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
don't remove that setting. You can see the flashing little arrows when they click the right stick.
Exactly,
We see that
exactly.
backward all the time.
And they do that a lot because sometimes the cursor switching is really bad. It happens to me a lot that my opponent is on my own half and I want my cursor on my DMF. And on the DMF, it seems even worse for some reason. I don't know why. And my
One
cursor is
thing,
going to my AMF and
yeah,
my right midfielder. No, I don't want that player. That
and
player is like
these
meters
are
away.
recipes for you to concede a
Yeah,
goal. I mean, it's a game. Mistakes happen, but
exactly.
happen way too often. Way too often.
So the best thing is just switch to your center back if you can and just wait for the ball to come near you.
Yeah.
Don't bother switching cursor all the time. So I mean it's a mix of factors and the top ranked ones know how to control the stuff. Not all the time though. Sometimes they'll also lose, but
We've
yeah,
seen
if you
it. I've watched like
exactly
3K rated guy first half 2-2 against 300 rated. I mean, come on,
exactly
300 rated.
exactly
He shouldn't be able
yeah.
to score
So
two goals.
if you combine the 4CB thing, the manager ID stuff using a overpowered manager, if you control your cursor switching, if you do smart time wasting, plus you are a very good player, then that's how you go up on the ranks. Now the
Well,
question is, do you bother to do this the whole year?
yeah.
Personally, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, because I play to have fun. I play to try to play
That's why I
good
keep telling you,
football.
like, guys,
And
like, I always
I have
tell, like,
no
this
patience for
year,
that because no one is paying me money to be on the
yeah,
top 10 rank. If you
yeah,
pay me money, I will try my best.
yeah. That's
So
it. If you're good at something, never do it for free. That's what the Joker said, right?
exactly, because when I see a top 10 or top 5 player using right back and left back, using a low rated manager, not using passes history, for example, I mean, when I see that, then I can tell you, okay, this guy is complete beast. But I never seen one. So, I mean, they are great players, but they use
Yeah.
also all that stuff to control the script, and I don't blame them. You know, they need to use it if they want to keep winning.
Exactly. I mean, many times on stream, I'm consistent. I'm on a good run, you know. I stream it regardless. I could be on a 10 losing streak or 10. In fact, when I lose more, I want to play more in a way. Like many
Yeah,
times, and this is not a one occasional random thing. Many times, like recently, a guy with the champion badge 900 plus rated, I beat him 7-0. He didn't fucking deserve that. Every time I was making a fucking pass, his defense was falling apart.
there
And
you
every
go.
time he was making a pass, my defense has perfect positioning without me even trying to fucking select anything.
And now you reach the point that I wanted. It's like the worst thing in script to me is not the fact that I lose, is the fact that I never know if I'm playing well or if I'm playing bad. You see my
That's the
point?
thing. Like I scream my ass over in the stream, guys.
Oh,
That's why I have this rigged AI replay. I like. I used to do that, clip it, and talk about it on YouTube, but now I'm doing it live. How can I
exactly.
beat a champion batch 7-0 and then next I draw against 600 rated and I lose against 500 rated? Do you know
And
what I
how
mean?
do I know that I'm developing and being more skilled at the game? How do I know which formation I have to use? How do I know which players I need to use? If some games I'm gonna be the best player in the world, and other games I will be really bad, and I'm struggling to beat a 400 rated player. You know, sometimes.
It's
So
just
you never know.
magical. Like as I said before, like most of these low-rated casual players, game developers do that because they have to keep them in the game. Otherwise, they will
Yeah,
uninstall the game and not play it, and that's less coin sale, less game sale, or less activities on the game, as a whole in a way.
yeah, exactly. And the fact that you never know when you are doing well or bad is it really annoys me. And because the script is not only against you, and I see a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
that only talk when the stuff goes against them. But as you just said right now, you also know that you beat some guy 7-0 because everything was working for you. And I think it's good that we also note when everything is on our favor, because it doesn't happen only against us, it also happens on our favor. My
yeah. I always
question
mention that. I always say like it's for you and against you. Like I don't
exactly.
like even when I'm winning, I mention certain errors that like his my opposition team, his players made a lot of mistakes non-stop, made chances for me easier. And some people just say, Seb, you fucking won. What are you complaining about? I'm like, dude, I'm not complaining. Think about it. If you're a gamer, you're sitting on the screen, 100% focused. Whatever you think about it in your head, like let's say the guy's time wasting, you're probably thinking, oh my god, this fucker's time wasting. As a streamer, I talk about whatever I'm thinking about. So most of the time, it's not really a complaint in a way, you know?
Exactly. The thing is, when when does the game happens without any script? You know, when when is a win deserved and when is a loss deserved? What is there any moment on the game where there isn't momentum? That's what I don't know. You know, that's what annoys me the most on this game.
Let's
Uh,
talk about let's talk about if somebody like the reason why. By the way, guys, the reason why we mentioned like top ranks etc. Because that's a question I get asked a lot. It's like, hey Seb, you point out these rigged AI scenarios and dynamic difficulties. How the fuck these top ranks can deal with it? And that's why we mention these guys and what they do. In a fairest way. Number one, being great. Number two, knowing the game's dynamics, knowing the algorithm when it kicks off, what to do, switching, overload on one side, switch to the other, being aware, etc. Sometimes even that's not good enough. I've seen 4K
yeah,
rated drawing against 700 rated. But what I want to talk about now, Noti, like if anybody asked you, hey, Notes, what is the best thing that I can do when I know the dynamic difficulties or the script is against me? I'm like, let's say you're leading 2-0, you just conceded the goal, your team is all over the place. Well, what's
yeah.
what's the best tip that you can give in that situation?
To be honest,
I know you
I
don't play
guess
that much, but there's a lot of things
yeah.
you
No,
say
that
it in my
happens to
stream
me
and
a
you're
lot.
right.
Winning 2-0 and the opponent gets a goal, and I know things are gonna be hard now.
Yeah.
I just go Mourinho style, man. Basically, even though I don't like it, but I just drop my attacking mentality to blue,
Okay.
and I start playing long balls, not overcomplicating my
Not
game.
building up deep, not doing short passes deep
Exactly.
to
No
avoid
fake
mistakes.
shots. no Marcel turns, nothing. Just play some simple as it was
Simplify.
a whole
Yeah.
football game with just pass and shoot, nothing else. Try
Yeah.
to dribble, run straight as much, because when you drop your attacking mentality, if you notice, the AI, your team gets more geared towards counterattacks, because the whole opponent team goes more aggressive when you drop the attacking mentality, and you have a bit more space for the counters. So try to play more direct, run straight, and that's my best advice. Don't overcomplicate.
In
That's
terms of like we spoke about manager, club ID, and effectiveness, that's something like it's not in the book of the game. And there are many other
yeah,
things. There are
yeah,
things that I'm going to mention, and I want your opinion on it. One of them, well, actually, one of them, it is in the game, like holding R2 for to trap the ball for your first touch. So
yeah,
I'll scratch
yes,
that one
yeah.
out. But holding L1 for smoother dribbling. What's your opinion on that?
To be
Like
honest,
L1, your cursor switch button while you're controlling the player.
yeah, I've heard about it. Some Brazilian guys talked about it some time ago, and I also heard people that also use L2. To be honest, I don't know. I didn't notice anything. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I didn't notice anything, to be honest.
I mean, I've heard it from a commentator, PES League. One of the commentators said, I think it was the True Brits. He said, "Oh, there's a manual dribbling," and I thought, is it really man? Like, with all due respect to him, because obviously he was dribbling, and you can see the arrow, so that is kind of manual dribbling. But in my
That's a
opinion,
L2
it was
with
more
dribble.
of a, yeah. In my opinion, it was more of a he was dribbling while aiming where to pass next, or is it,
Exactly.
or does holding L2 make your
And
dribbling smoother?
I know two or three top players that talked with me and said they use L2 to
Yeah,
make his smoother dribbles. But honestly, and I know you know that I try to spot this stuff, and I didn't notice anything. Honestly, I
yeah.
really didn't. I think it's the same. Maybe it's a placebo effect. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't use it personally because I don't notice anything. But
Now,
if you
I've
do,
always valued your
if
opinion
it works
because
for
for
you, so go
yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean, let me
I
just
don't.
say to you guys, the reason why I value Noti's opinion a lot, it's not the fact like, it's not about the title being former Portuguese champion. In general, he's one of the greatest players, and his play style is something unique, it's something different. People, whenever he goes live, it could be a year not disappear, and he goes live, everybody just there because he's got a unique style of play. Like not everybody can do what he does. Um, he's got this unique
Thank you.
style of play, and most of the time, I mean, think about it. If you can play the way you enjoy, you better not play. So that's one of the reasons I
Yeah.
value his opinion a lot. And the other thing, he goes extra mile to test things. Like he even does it even more than me. I test things playing against human because I believe that's the best way to make tutorials. And the
Yeah.
way Noti does it is basically like I remember with the Neymar Borrell combination. You went ahead and checked like what 15
Yeah.
leagues going
Yeah.
through at like what 200
I've
players.
checked every
Yeah,
player the game on the training ground. I was trying every player to see who did the ball roll, because I think
yeah,
that skill is the best skill in PES 19. I still have
yeah.
my opinion.
We
If you
figured
do it
out
well.
it was a combination. I think J Dubs went to edit mode,
Yeah.
creating players basically, combining skills and creating players, and that
Yeah.
is
I don't
similar
know
way
them,
dedication.
but yeah, yeah. I think there are three or four skills that if combined, the
Yeah,
player
it's
does the ball roll.
double touch, flip flop, step on skill control.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know about that. I just tried them, and I make take notes. I
yeah,
took notes
yeah.
about players, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what you went the extra mile. You basically went
yeah,
through about 200 players and you found out. Like imagine going through like I don't know 20, 30 teams and
yeah,
trying out different players to see who can fucking does it, dude. So that's one
yeah,
of the reason that I value his opinion because he tests things out. He goes the extra mile testing things out and then giving his opinion. It's
yeah.
not
Of
the
course.
matter of, oh, I played 10 games, here's my opinion. It's not
Yeah,
like this.
exactly. Because some people think that they only see me when I complain about the game, but they don't know that behind that there were
Yeah.
hours of testing. Because I love
Yeah.
PES. I still love PES. I love it, and every time a new PES comes out, I cannot wait. Because I love this thing, and I try everything because I like to do it. It's a pleasure to me, and it's not my fault when I find problems. Because I was saying on Twitter a while ago that on PES 15 and 16, when I played the demos, I was amazed. I didn't get a lot of problems. Of course, no game is perfect, That's not possible. No game is ever going to be perfect.
I think, in my opinion, a combination of PES 15 and 18 gameplay would be great.
Yeah,
But
I
in
mean,
general, I think Fox Engine needs to go.
yeah, it needs to go, and it will go. But I think they could do better, even though I still think they could do a bit better.
Better with
But to be honest, PES 19, most of the problems, the gameplay problems, got patched. You know, and I streamed about it, and I said, okay, this is fixed. The game is cool now. I still play with friends offline. You know,
yeah.
yeah, it's very fun.
Offline is a
But
different world, you know?
yeah, of course. But the biggest problem, I think, is the momentum, the script, which we are talking now, and the connections, of course, which doesn't affect everyone, but it affects us Portuguese people at least.
Yeah.
The games are very laggy. That mixed with
US
this
as well. USA,
is
America as well.
yeah, exactly. Mixing that with the momentum thing, the dynamic difficulties is just a mess, you know.
Yeah, I
And
would be walking through walls, man. I mean, I'm not used to playing laggy games, but when I have delay is even more worse than a laggy game because at least with the lag, you can see, okay, it's lagging. I'm going to be careful. But with the
yeah,
delay,
true.
you're making a pass. You're trying to switch to a player as a split-second decision. You can't switch on time. That's it. The guy's through. He's going to score a goal. And if you raged about it, that's it. You just lost the game. You lose it in your head.
Yeah.
You will lose it in a pitch. And that's a recipe for losing.
Oh yeah, and that's an advice that I could tell to someone losing their mind with the script is to stay calm. You know, go play the game. You know how the game works already. So what are you expecting? The game to change suddenly because you don't like the script? No, it's always going to be like that. So get ready to lose games on an fair way, but you need to put that on your mind and chill. Keep playing, keep doing your thing, keep doing your football, and try to have fun with it. Because if you're gonna play with that mentality, you're screwed.
I mean, that's a
You're
combination to
completely
stay
screwed.
consistent, right? Like we talk about most top
Yeah,
ranks and
exactly,
the things they
exactly.
do. And
Oh,
in the meantime, there are players who really play some attractive football and they are consistent in a way. And when they struggle, it's always the case of cursor switching going wrong. I'm not saying
yeah,
every time when they lose, but most of them when they struggle, because I'm not saying everybody who's top ranked, they just play sweaty exploits and, smart time wasting and mind games. Not every single one of them. I
yeah, of
mean, I'm
course.
not sure if I have to say it every time. Hey guys, not everybody. In a way, we're not
Yeah,
labeling
yeah,
everybody that way, and it's not a label anyway. This whole conversation is basically talking about whatever is going on myClub right now, and I think overall, it's nearly end of the season. I'm pretty sure in a 3 weeks' time, we're going to be hearing about PES 2020. The hype
yeah.
will
I
start
think very
again.
soon. Maybe end of this week or next week. Not assuring it, but I'm almost sure.
Last year, we heard it from 8th of May. I was surprised
Yeah,
it's still not out yet.
yeah.
I think when the time comes, probably. Do you know what? I was going to do another podcast when the beta or demo or whatever is going to come out. But then again, after that is going to be release code and then week one data pack and then online and then myClub. So that's
Yeah,
why, like, I don't see the point of playing it early and then give your
it's too
thoughts.
different.
Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? I think the
yeah,
best
true.
time to review the game is out for 1 month, play normal divisions, play myClub, and then me and you will sit out and do the next
Yeah.
podcast. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you want to pull out your Pesology notes of anything you want to add into whatever we said, like just to wrap it up?
Well, I think we pretty much said everything. I think
How about there is right?
I can add something that I noticed it as well,
Okay.
which is the managing the attacking mentality changes the game a lot sometimes. I don't know if you notice it,
After
but
minute 70, yes.
if you remember, PES 15 and 16 didn't have attacking mentality sliders.
Yes.
Um,
We had them
and
before, but they removed it for 15.
yeah, true, true. But I remember on 15, 16, we didn't have it. So
Yeah.
everything pressure related and defensive line related was on the
Stagnant.
formations.
Yeah.
But right now, in my opinion, when you play yellow, the balanced one, your team is right, just like the name says, balanced. Your players are
Yeah.
not really aggressive on
Sorry,
both.
by yellow, do you mean like the white one, the balanced one in the middle? Because they changed the colors, man. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
balance
it's
is white, and then you
it's
have
white. Yeah,
blue or
true,
double
true.
blue or the red or double red, which is I'm like, just give us a different color.
Exactly.
The reason why
And
you said orange because it used to be orange.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So if you notice, if you use, for example, Jurgen Klopp with the attacking mentality, so I think it's the orange one, right? Or the first red one.
The
You're gonna
first red,
notice
yeah.
that.
We call it one red, basically.
So when you use that, your players are more aggressive towards the ball.
Yeah.
I noticed that way more aggressive. And if you have a high-rated manager combined with aggressive attacking mentality, you're gonna dominate even more. I notice it.
Yeah.
It's even harder for your opponent to counter you, because although you have more spaces on your defense, your players position better. I noticed this. So try to play with the attacking mentalities as well, because I think they play a huge role in the game, more than what some people might think. And
I mean,
sometimes I'm
after
watching streams, and even I'm watching it and you are losing or something, and I keep telling to myself, increase the attacking mentality, man. Please just do it right now. Don't wait for the end of the game. Do it now.
Yeah.
Because it's safe. I'm gonna be honest.
It
Most
wakes
of
your
the
team up, basically. Sometimes your AI is asleep, you go red mentality,
a lot of
not
times
full
in
aloe attack.
PES19, I start with attacking mentality since the minute one. Why
Yeah.
not? I, I don't mind if you counter me. I'm an attacking player, so I want to attack, and I start right off the bat with that. I
Yeah.
think that's more important than what people think.
But are we
So yeah,
talking about like one red attack and not all out attack, right?
yeah, exactly. Not all out of attack. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not that.
I noticed like usually after minute 70, I mean, fair enough. After minute 70, you could say, midfield gets tired, but even if they get tired, they just don't go back in a way. So after minute 70, I noticed my
Exactly.
opponent not even going red mentality. His team is like all over me. And one
Just
thing
do it.
about going attacking, that should only work when you attack. Like if I'm playing against you, you go red mentality, fair enough. You're gonna be all over me. You're gonna come at me with
Yeah,
7 players. But that's
exactly.
when you're on the ball. When you lose the ball, I should be able to find better spaces and gaps to counter you. But that's not
Exactly.
the way it works. Not every time, at least.
Not every time, because your defenders get smarter and more aggressive as well. That's what I noticed. Even
Yes.
though your
Yes.
fullbacks push harder,
Yeah.
and you have more spaces on the back, but your center backs are gonna play smarter. You know, it's weird. But I'm talking when you have a good ID manager. Don't do that if you have a
Yeah.
low rated one, because you're gonna get smacked
I
basically.
mean, that's not good. We saw that on PES League. Like in the final, it was Macabell against Chris. Every time, like I pay attention to details. Every time Chris win red, Macabell win red. Every time, one of them
Yeah,
win red, the other one win red from kickoff as well.
nice that you noticed it, because I noticed it as well. True, man.
Yeah.
I noticed it that they were playing with attacking mentality a lot. True, man.
See, if
True.
that tactic was true, right?
It,
If one of them went fucking blue and the other one went red, the guy on blue should be able to counter them and find spaces more. I mean, yeah, you
exactly.
could say it's a style they
Exactly.
want to beat fire with fire, but
But if you play
most people
yellow,
do that.
or the white, I mean, the balanced
Yeah.
one against the red one, and there are no manager,
Basically,
I
we
don't
have
want.
we have white, which is balance, and then we have
Yeah,
one blue, which is defense, and then we have
exactly.
another blue all out defense, and then attack and all out attack.
Yeah, exactly. But if you play against the red one
Yeah.
with the white one, you are not going to do great. You need to drop it, or just to increase it, to put it on the same level.
Yeah.
Because when I'm playing online, and if when I discovered about this and my opponent went red one, I went red one as well, because I want to have the ball. You know me. I want to play
Yeah.
possession. I don't want to look to my opponent. So I thought, no, I'm not going to stay balanced. If he's attacking, I'm going to attack too. I want the ball as well. So that's what those PES League players did. They seen,
I
okay,
don't I,
he's
I
attacking,
remember.
I'm going to attack
Yeah.
too, because they know it as well. If they do it, it's
Exactly.
because they know it. The difference is that we are talking here, and they don't talk about stuff. Of course, they just
Yeah.
play, and that's
Especially
it.
when one of them leading. I think it was 1-0. One of them went red because he was losing, and the other one was leading. He still went red too. I mean, you would think, all right, I'm leading. I'm
Yeah,
going to go blue. I'm going to counter him. I'm
because
going to
he
find
didn't
more
want
spaces.
to defend, because if you go blue, you're gonna defend, but he didn't want to play on the counter. He wanted the ball still. And if you want the ball, if you want to dominate the game, you need to go red one. Now, if your opponent has a better manager than you, and he plays blue and plays on the counter, maybe you're gonna suffer a bit. But if you have Klopp or those strong managers, I assure that your defenders are gonna deal with it, and you're gonna pressure your opponent even more. Klopp with the red one mentality is just insane, in my opinion, completely insane. And yeah,
I agree. I agree. And and going back to my club, most of the time, and I'm saying this not underestimating anybody, whether he's go lower rated or lower team, especially on 5-star, not underestimating anything and anybody. It's the fact that they're fucking fearless. I remember I went as far as 980 rated, and then I got bored of Simeone. I used another formation, and shit went sideways. I remember I drew like 10 games in a row, and I was losing 5 points per draw.
Yeah.
And since then, I can never go back up. I can't stand the gameplay after Data Pack 3. I cannot simplify my game more to actually
Exactly.
dominate games in a way. I'm still playing the way I enjoy it. I still don't play attractive football, especially not on a 5-star team, especially not every fucking game. I mean, I get it. Even in real life, some managers like Sari is known for attractive, entertaining football. Against Man City, Sari just fucking longballed Man City and beat him. So I get it. Even in real life, against certain formation and system and tactic and player choices, sometimes you gotta play ugly to get the win done. So
Yeah,
my
true.
point is,
True.
I'm 900 rated playing against 600 rated guy, which is not low, by the way. Nobody should get offended. I'm not exactly
Yeah.
that high rated right now. They're fearless, man. They start with gegenpress red mentality instantly against you.
Yeah, there's no
They are
respect.
absolutely fearless. Every
Yeah.
single one of them.
Yeah, true. And
I'm like,
sometimes every opponent seems hard, you know? Everyone
oh
seems
yeah,
defend like a pro player.
yeah.
Everyone seems to break your defense apart. Everyone seems to guess what you're doing, even when you are playing unpredictable football and you are like, what? How is that possible? Sometimes I do a fake shot on the defender and it takes the ball away from me automatically. And I'm like, this is not fair. I mean, I dribbled him. I should get the dribble. I should not lose the ball if my opponent didn't guess what I was doing. So that's why they are fearless, you know. Too
Well,
many external factors, man. It's
I'm
it's
gonna
a artificial playing field, you know.
artificial foot. I'm actually
Yeah.
quoting you on the stream most of the time. Is the whole algorithm and the coding within the game and what happened when what happens in a way. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, like I'm always gonna title this podcast Scriptology, but we've given more tips than any than any scripting talk in a way. So what should we call it?
Yeah.
Should we call it just PES 2019 My Club? What do we call it? What do we call it? Do you have any idea? Because
Well,
we
I
gotta.
love Scriptology name, to be honest.
You like it? Because people can be shocked. It's like, all right, here we go. Two people gonna fucking moan and brag about script, and then at the end of it,
Yeah.
they see all we talk about is how to overcome certain things, why better players do things, what you do, what you
Yeah.
should not do. But I think we're going through an hour. I'm not gonna take your time more than that. What are we gonna do? I want to end
Oh,
it with one thing. Like, if you could currently with Data Pack 5, we're talking about my club, your team strength 4K. You have superstar feature players, high protein diet players. Just tell us one thing gameplay wise not to do, and one thing gameplay wise do. Just gameplay,
We-
no tactic, not 4CB, not players. If
okay,
you got,
so you mean with a really high skilled squad?
yeah, high skill squad, 4K team strength. You have superstars, you have beefy players, max level feature players, fucking insane individual abilities, things
Okay.
that the way to play basically. I mean, if I would say anything, I would say simplify.
Yeah,
What do you
that's a great word. I was
Yeah,
thinking about one thing to do is if you want to win consistently, pass assist three and one touch pass, basically,
okay.
because everyone is going to have that ability. And one thing not to do: never press square while defending. And I say literally never,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Well, there you guys. Give that a try, guys. I mean, sometime, yeah. I mean, personally, I panic. I don't like watching my players wiggling his ass, getting so comfortable on the ball. I mean, when you're confident on the ball, you're intimidating your opponent. You know, that's how human mind works. And most of the time, my defending the reason why, like, I know what to do and what not to do, but especially being live, I just don't like watching my opponent being comfortable. So I do press square often, and I give my opponent a space.
So now
Most of
I'm
the
going to give
time,
you an example. Instead of pressing square, increase
yeah,
your team mentality to make the
go
players
red.
aggressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because this game was made, the defending on this game was made for you to wait for the opponent
To
and
make
not to
mistakes,
press.
basically. Yeah.
Exactly. You need to wait for the mistake. That's how it was made. It was not made for you to put a lot of players marking the playmakers of the other team and
Yeah.
press all the time. It was made for you to wait. If you want that posture of pressing, you need to increase the mentality, man. I think people overestimate that feature a lot still
Yeah.
because
I
I see
agree with you.
I see people barely touching, I mean, streamers barely touching the attacking mentality. And in my opinion, it's a vital part of PES 19, to be honest.
Well, there you have it, guys, and I 100% agree with you because one of the most style of play or the system people use, like Santos 4CB counter target, gegenpress from the box, the way I see it, like they wait because I'm attacking. I'm not sweating my strikers. I'm building up. I'm most
Yeah.
of the time, even when I play direct, I commit with more numbers. I have fullback, sometimes 3CB. What happens is that as soon as I lose the ball, my opposition, and I'm talking about consistently champion badge players, not all of them, one pass from defense to center midfield, and then one pass to striker, and that's it. 1-2 shoot goal. That's the
Yeah.
most, like I would say 80% of my goals, I'm conceding like that getting countered. So I have a
Yeah.
choice. Try to simplify my game so much that I'm almost feeling like I'm in the fucking 80s and I have those little pad games. I don't even know what they called. It's it's like you do one thing every game, every day, every time, every match. I can't do that.
Exactly.
I'm an old school gamer. I can't do that. But in the meantime, it's frustration to lose because if you win more, you'll enjoy it more in a way. But for me, it's different. Like I could be on a losing streak. I actually want to play more because the way I see it, if you don't take a loss, you never learn how to win. And most of the time, I learn from the games that I lose. Like I
Yeah.
would rather game
Exactly.
match somebody who's higher rated or similar rated than me than lower rated than me. And most of the time, I'm like, all right, guys, here we go. Champion badge, 1K rating. Let's see what's special about him. Let's see what we can learn. And then the game
True.
finishes. Nothing I've already not seen. It's like so many people
Yeah.
has the same system and same style. Just
Exactly.
shows what works in the game, and
That's
but not
where
all of them.
PES
Not all of them.
15 and 16, in my opinion, were much better. There were many more styles. You
Bring
could
back
play
cross
any
spamming.
style.
Bring back long ball spamming. I would fucking take that.
So what? PES 16 had long balls. People say it had long ball problems, but I barely used long balls and I still won games. You were not
Yeah,
forced to use it, you know? You
yeah.
could play any style. So you had an identity as a player. And right
Exactly.
now,
You knew
it's a
your
bit
system, you
less.
knew what to do and not to do, and it was consistent
Exactly.
most of the time.
Exactly.
The problem is with 19, like there isn't major bugs. There isn't something like one thing that is so OP. Like on 16, it was cross spamming or wait,
True,
yeah,
true, true, true,
cross
true,
spamming, and
true.
then long ball spamming was effective. Like, what would you point out? What you would say, like, and I'm not talking about the obvious one, whether it's cutback tapping, L1
Yeah,
triangle,
of course.
like there isn't anything that is so OP. Like one Thursday I'm playing, I'm getting destroyed with crosses.
I
Next
can understand.
Thursday, I'm getting destroyed with long balls. This week, I'm
Yeah.
getting smashed with cutback tappings. Like what is it? What is OP? I don't know.
My opinion, the most OP thing in 19 must be the corner kick glitch, maybe, when you select a player to the
Yeah, off
first,
the ball control. Yeah,
exactly, with a tall defender, and you win
yeah,
that header.
yeah,
That might be the most OP and consistent OP thing in the
yeah,
game,
yeah.
maybe.
I've always
Uh,
scored my goal directly, left stick up, boom, sharp. Because it's more beautiful to score that way. He doesn't know who's gonna take the hit, and I don't know who's gonna take it in a way, you know?
yeah.
I only do the off the ball control if my opponent's spamming it against me.
To be honest,
It's
I don't like the off the ball control on corners because you don't even need to aim. You don't need to choose your power. You know, you choose a player, you press a button, and the
and
ball
then
goes
it's a fucking
perfectly.
mosh pit. Either an own goal or somebody your defense freezes, he's gonna tap it in,
Exactly.
fucking complete
Exactly.
mosh pit.
But I still think though, well, it might not be as OP as the crosses on PES 17,
Yeah,
but if you get good with PES Assist 3, and I keep saying that, I know a lot of people don't like PES Assist 3 because
yeah.
it has no freedom, it's true, but
We're
if you
talking
get
about what's
good,
effective here, guys.
yeah, if you are good with PES Assist 3 and you practice 1 week with it, and you have a good central formation for it, and you get good on those 1-2s,
Yeah.
every opponent is going to struggle to defend you most of the time,
I
unless they.
scored some amazing early crosses 3 streams ago. I was using passes three.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not talking about usual cross and header and in. Like I'm talking about David Beckham style early cross, boom, right on the
yeah.
top of your knee and on your boot, like making your sandwich, just tap it in.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And if you are fast with those 1-2s, I think it's still very hard to defend.
I think passes to three with a diamond formation or a formation with AMF and two striker is lethal.
Exactly. By the way, if you watch the number one ranked player, he plays like that. You
Yeah,
know,
he plays diamond. I'm not sure
one
if he
two and
uses
two and
pass
two.
support 3. I think he uses
Yeah,
2, but
I'm not
yeah,
sure as well,
yeah,
but I know he uses the 1-2 a lot.
he does.
Um,
He doesn't
Basically,
necessarily have LMF and RMF rapid players. He uses actually, he turns Santos into 4-3-1-2. I used to do that
yeah,
as well because to dominate the midfield against Santos 4-3-1-2. And the only thing you change is make your LMF and RMF CMFs.
yeah, that formation is really, really strong, and that's
Yeah.
why a lot of PES League players used it as
Yeah, we
well.
saw Alex using that formation.
Yeah, although some of them use second striker instead of AMF, but that's
Yeah.
basically doing counter target on the AMF, so
Yeah.
it's the
I think
same
with
thing.
Alex's formation, it was a diamond, but not AMF, it was a S. So
Yeah,
technically it was
I
4-3-3,
think
a
it
false
was,
diamond.
and I've seen more players using it. I can't remember who, but I've seen more players using it because
Yeah.
it's a good combination. And even the players that don't use diamond, they use 4-3-3 with three strikers, you know, because it's all about having players on the middle to do the quick combinations
Yeah.
when you can do them, and that's still a really strong way of scoring goals on PES. And on PES19, I could mention it, but you need to get used to it. But yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
that and the corner kick are the strongest ways of scoring. But again, it depends where the momentum is, you know, because if the momentum is on your side, you can
Your
even
defense will respond better.
yeah, and you can score wonder goals. You can do fake shots. You can do skills. You can score from anywhere and anyway, you know, because the thing is on your favor. So
You've seen
I
these
mean,
games where my opponent every shot goes in. Like he
yeah,
is like some. I feel like I'm playing against fucking Uzmakabel attacking and Etorito defending. This guy is fucking
yeah, man,
unbeatable.
true,
Every fucking
true.
shot goes in, and I'm like fucking stunned. 150 people watching, and I'm like,
That's what I'm saying. And even shots without any angle, and the ball
yeah.
goes to the center of the net, and your 90 rated goalkeeper cannot save them,
He's got
for
every
example.
single status. You know, it's not even about the overall rating, but every individual goalkeeping
Yeah,
status is freaking 99. And I'm not
exactly.
saying he should be invincible. He should be, I'm not saying he shouldn't make errors, he shouldn't concede goals. But if
Of
a
course.
shot goes down the middle, I mean, come on.
Yeah, talking about shots, that's another way of spotting the script.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm one on one with the keeper and I try to aim to imagine the low right corner,
They
and
track
I
it. They fucking
and I
track it
aim
before
there,
you even shoot.
but sometimes the ball doesn't even go there. The ball
Yeah.
goes to the center of the net, and it
Yeah.
happened going to the other angle even, and I was, whoa,
Yeah.
I didn't shoot there. Why did the ball go there? You know, that's when
Oh,
some
every time I had a fucking dime saying I didn't pass it to him, I didn't shoot it there. I swear, I'll be
yeah.
able to buy 1 million coins right now for my club.
Yeah, that's all script moments, you know, and
Yeah.
it's a shame that it's so heavy. Like we talked, if Konami wants RNG and help the noobs, fair enough, but help them outside the pitch, give them a good player, increase their chances of
Yeah.
pulling Messi, so they keep playing the game. But don't kill the skill gap on the pitch, because it gets frustrating, you know. You end
It
up being
does. I mean,
frustrated.
you should win and lose based on your ability. And to one
Exactly.
thing to point out before we end this, guys, I mean, here's Notty. He always had win ratio 80, 70 plus playing this game. So what I'm trying to say here, this isn't typical gamer excuse. He doesn't need
Yeah,
excuse.
not
I
at
don't
all.
need excuse because number one, all right, I'm not a best player. I never boost. I never brag about when I'm doing good or doing well. I drew against, PES League Pro 3K rated 1-1. I didn't brag about it because I didn't think I think he could have beat me. He was better than me. I beat a champion badge 7-0. I didn't brag about it on Twitter or anyone else because I know I wasn't better than him losing that game. So it's not the fact that we complain because we're losing or we can't win enough. I mean, for me, I literally have the worst win ratio this year than any PES I played. And I'm still streaming rapidly 4 days, sometimes 6 days a week, 2,000
Yeah,
my club games played. So just to point out, this is not about typical gamer excuse. I
not at
don't
all.
need it. I live stream
Not
when
at
I'm on
all.
a 10 losing streak. I'm not ashamed of it because I want to show the natural way of things. Just because you don't see people
Let's
struggling
put
and
it this
losing,
way, Seb.
yeah,
I'm gonna put it this way. If someone thinks that we are complaining because we lose, I have this proposal that someone donates me, I buy agents, I build a level 5 team, and I play only to glitch the game, only with 4 CBs, and I'm gonna be on top 20 in some weeks. I assure you. So if someone thinks this is a loser
yeah. Well, there's a
excuse,
challenge. There
there
you
you
go.
go. There you go.
you know. There you
Simple
go.
as that.
Like,
Yeah,
buy me a fucking team. I'm gonna play 5 star. I'm gonna exploit the game. I'm gonna be sweaty, and I'm gonna
yeah,
prove you that
exactly,
I can have a insane win ratio in a way.
exactly.
And the fact you said 5 star, not 3 star, not 2 star, no
Yeah,
4 star, in
no,
a way,
because three
you're going
star
hard all the way in.
for 3 star, I don't even need to buy players. 3 star is way easier than level 5, and anyone saying otherwise doesn't know the game well. That's all I can say.
I think some people, like a lot of people, barely plays 5 star. Like generally, I don't. The reason why I don't talk about, the only thing I say about 3 star, because I only played 30 games this year. It's slower. The people who
It's
spam it,
easier.
I don't struggle that much, and I can shield, dribble, pull a feint a little bit better because gameplay is slower.
And you are
That's
not
all
gonna
I'm saying
face
because I haven't
five.
played enough. But
It doesn't
people
mean
who
that you cannot lose. You still lose games, but
exactly, so it's no, you will still lose. It's still equally
I
grinding,
mean,
and I've
in
always
10
said that.
games, you're gonna find one great player, maybe. And while on level 5, in 5 games, you're gonna find two great players. It's different, you know.
You do. I think like right now it's May, right? You're probably thinking, all right, the game is dead, everybody's gone. 2,000 games from day one up until now. I have never been matched against so many champion badge higher rated than me by 200 points
Yeah,
ever as much as this week in a way. So I'm not saying 3 star, just my opinion. Noti has a different opinion. People shouldn't get personal.
yeah,
Everybody has
of
a
course,
different
of
opinion.
course. Yeah,
For me, because I don't play that much, what I don't like is somebody who barely played like 100 or 50 games on 5 star, and they have like this idea of no, it is like this. Like
yeah,
when I say I prefer 3 star, I'm saying 3 star is slower, etc. I'm saying in my opinion. I'm not saying that is the fact in a way, just my
yeah,
opinion and my experience. And people shouldn't like, whether you play 5 star, 3 star, I think is equally grinding. You still have to win your game. It's not like you play three
of
star, you put
course.
your pad down, or play 5 star, put your pad down. But there's always this massive discussion. Oh, 3 stars, better. 5 stars harder. Is easier. You got Ronaldo,
Yeah,
but you're defending against Ronaldo.
yeah, exactly. And you find better players overall, I think. I mean, it depends on a lot of stuff. Imagine you live in France. You know, in my opinion, France has the best players.
Yeah,
They are very good. So if you
yeah,
live in France and you use the connection filters and that stuff,
yeah,
there's a high chance you're gonna get matched against great players. So your record is gonna suffer with that.
yeah.
But if you live on a place where there aren't that many great players, you're gonna have easier games. It is how it is. I
I
mean,
mean,
I
you
won
can check the
Portugal.
top rank majority. I would say 80% they play five
Yeah,
star, even top 50. And
I
thing is,
won
though, you still get matched against
Portugal.
champion badge. You still
Yeah,
get
of
matched
course,
against 1K
of
rated
course.
guy on 3 star.
You have to put things in perspective because I won in Portugal, but if I played in France, I might not even be top 20 in that time, you know,
Yeah,
because the level is different. So it depends on a lot of factors. And if you play 3 stars, you're going to get matched against worse players because the best players are on level 5. I think that's a fact, you know. Now, if you
yeah.
enjoy playing level 3, I can understand that because I never enjoyed uh, playing level 5 as well because sometimes too many superstars, it's too unbalanced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, you always see the same players, although this year you have the featured ones,
We're
but
gonna
it's
spice
unbalanced.
it up a little bit.
The gameplay is more arcadish, you know.
It's
So I can
so
understand
fast,
that.
man. Like I was watching
Yeah,
FIFA stream yesterday, and I was watching like I know skills are always OP in FIFA most of the time, but it's
yeah,
just a fact. Like the guy was able to actually shield the fucking ball and turn in his own half. The gameplay is way slower on FIFA compared to 5 star team. And I wonder if my
it's
club ever gonna be the time where they remove 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. It's gonna be like Ultimate Team and making the whole matchmaking based on like if I'm in Division 1, I want to play against Division 1. If I'm in Division 5, I want to play against
but
Division 5.
but
And
that
that way, you know,
that can also be stressful, you know, because at least in my opinion, I'm not in the mood to play against the best players all the
diehards,
time.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Sometimes you just want to chill, and especially when you are a streamer, and
yeah,
you will understand what I'm saying. You just want to chill and talk with your chat,
yeah,
and you don't want to be try hard all the time. So
yeah.
it's a bit of a debate, you know. I think you could have two game modes inside my club where you would play against guys from your division if you want to go try hard and have bragging rights. And look at
I
me, I
guess
won
that's what
that.
FIFA have. I mean, I always liked Ultimate Team concept. You
Exactly.
go your
And you
weekend
have
league,
the
etc.
other shield mode where you can play different football and more chilled approach. Because playing
Yeah.
against tryhards all the time is a bit stressful, I think.
True.
So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
for me, the only reason why I didn't play 3-star that much, because every year I do play 200, 300, 3-star, 4-star. It was the whole feature type, and in the meantime, as a content creator, I don't see the point of spending, my own money, stream money, and all that grind getting these superstars and not use them. It's like parking
Hmm.
your
True.
Lamborghini and driving a Russian Lada in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's
I
true.
made a mistake though because it adds more content to my stream. When 5-star team gives me a hard time, I can occasionally switch to 3-star. So I do regret it, even though I had the best, like even 1-star team. I had the best 1-star team from white, ball, and bronze. I made it like top 30 worldwide, even on sim, which is kind of not that tactical anymore. It's just certain
Yeah.
players and certain stuff. It does work. Still needs kind of a tactical mind, but it's not as good as back in MLO days. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like I don't think most people who play 3-star, I don't think they play it because it's easier. I don't get matched against high
Oh
rated
yeah.
guys. You still do. I
Of
think they
course.
just enjoy it that way
Enjoy it
and they
more.
choose
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
And that's why they should play. They should not play to make it easier because that would be
exactly.
lame.
Yeah,
So imagine, okay, now I'm gonna stream and I'm gonna play only level 3 because I can have a 50 win streak and I can talk about it. No, that's a wrong posture in my opinion. It should only be because you have more fun doing it, not because of being easier, you know, in my opinion.
indeed, indeed. I mean, no names given. We know a lot of streamers who play 3-star. They choose that because they enjoy it and they're great players. And we have other streamers who only play 5-star. They're great players. They enjoy it. They deal with the bullshit,
I
whether it's
mean,
5-star, 3-star.
I can talk about me on PES 15 and 16. I mostly played level 3 and level 4.
Yeah,
I think level 4 now is a bit unplayable, to be honest. I think there's too much
I don't
white
see
bench.
much difference 4-star and 5-star.
But I used to play. I never liked level 5, but I also didn't ever say that. Oh, I have these records. Look at me, because I think level 5 was always harder and always will be, which
Yeah,
doesn't mean that I will play it. I
true.
don't. I don't like. I don't like arcade-ish gameplay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. If you guys have any questions, I mean, I think I'm gonna upload this. I don't do podcasts really, and I think we did something like that 2 years ago. I think me and Notty spoke and I uploaded it on a
Yeah.
video. So I'll probably just record some gameplays in the background and upload this to YouTube so people can have a shitty, well, not shitty, crazy game. I'm like thinking right now. Obviously, it's going for an hour and a half. Probably, I need to record maybe 5 games. I wonder what will happen these games in the background and what we're talking about. I wonder what kind of madness will happen because I will be recording 4K team strength, myClub superstar legends features max level squad. I will be recording that. So all you guys got to do while you're listening to this, paying attention to the goals it's scored and it's conceded during this whole video. Probably you guys, ended it by now. And if you have any question towards me or Noti, anything we figured out, whether it's agree, disagree, it's a conversation. You can
Yeah.
disagree with us, tell us below, but just be reasonable. Don't get personal. If you disagree, you can disagree. That's the magic of it. We shouldn't all agree on
Yeah.
one thing. It'll be boring. And I'll put Noti's Twitter on the description and his Twitch as well. Give the man a follow. You will not be disappointed. I mean, most of you guys like the way I do on the stream, and if you like mine, you'll definitely, hopefully, Noti will like PES 2020, and I hope you do
Yeah.
because the community do miss you, man. Like, every time you show up, you're like a rare fruit nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
And I miss you guys as well. I miss you a lot. I wish I have fun with PES 20 so I can play a lot of it.
I
And
can't
yeah,
help it, but I'm gonna say it again, Noti. I felt like I spoke to Marino for 1 hour and a half. And I'm not it's not the fact that you're Portuguese, he's Portuguese, it's just that maybe it's the accent actually.
yeah,
Maybe
I
it's the
think
accent.
might
I
be the
like it. I
accent.
feel like I'm on some sort of serious show right now, even though I'm staring at the wall and I've got a mic in front of me.
That's funny. Thank you very much for the opportunity, man. I love to talk about PES, and especially with you, of course. You are the symbol of the PES on the internet. So yeah, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to have you as well, Chap. I mean, 1 hour and a half of your time is great to appreciate it, mate.
Same,
Well,
man.
guys,
Same.
hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, and track with us. This is a conversation we're having. And this is goodbye from me. Noti?
So goodbye and have fun.
That's it. Get your piss on, but beware of dynamic difficulties. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Ciao for now. Wait, I've been sip. That was a terrible outro.